Day 2 of balloon making for FCJH. These are the steps that you'll be completing with your class. So the first thing they're going to do is they're going to carefully remove their bag from their balloon from their bag. They want to do that slowly because over the course of 24 hours, some of the glue may have adhered to the sack, and we want to try to minimize the amount of tearing and sticking that we can. So they're going to take their balloons out of their bag. They're going to very carefully go through each panel and separate the panels from each other so that they have the 8 panels of 3 that are not glued to each other. So that's the first thing they do, is take it out very carefully and make sure that everything is glued where it's supposed to be glued. Then they're going to line up every panel on one end and make sure that it's even, okay? It's not going to be even on both ends. It's impossible. So you get one end all lined up and even, and then they're going to take a pattern from the teacher, and they're going to lay that pattern, and this just is like whenever you were cutting a pattern out to make a garment. You're going to take that balloon pattern, like the one you see in the picture there. You're going to lay it on top of the 8 panels, and you're going to line it all up on one end. Be careful with the pins. You're going to make sure you count those before. Make sure the kids are counting the pins and that they get those pins back into the container so that we minimize the losing of straight pins, and we minimize the chance that somebody gets one stuck in their foot or their hand or whatever, all right? So we're going to take that pattern and we're going to pin it one end. So we'll line up, the large end goes toward the part that's been made even. We're going to pin the pattern down. It goes down through all of the different tissue, and then they're going to take some scissors and they're going to cut that pattern out, leaving the sides in one piece, and you're going to save all of the scrap. I mean, if it's a little tiny shred of tissue, they can throw that away. But we want to save as many of the leftover scraps as possible because those will be used on a different day. So I've laid out a balloon. So you're going to take the pattern. Once you've got all the panels lined up on one end, you take the pattern and you put the larger end. So there's 2 ends to the balloon pattern. There's a more narrow end, which is the top part, which you're going to tie off with a string eventually. And you're going to have the bottom part that's a little bit wider that eventually is where we're going to put the wire in our balloon. And then they take the straight pins from the container, and they want to make sure that they go down all the way through every layer of the tissue. And they're going to want to do that about like this, okay? You want to make sure that they use enough pins that the pattern is secure on the tissue so that as they are cutting, as they cut that pattern out, it doesn't slide around on them, okay? So they're going to cut that out, keeping the scraps, and that is what they do on day 2.